Because you have already done all your option choices already, this, I suppose, is about how you're doing at the moment and how you feel you're coping and if there's anything we can do to support you and help you. So you talk to me about how school's going at the moment.
I sort of the year went downhill.
Did it?
Yep.
Okay, can you tell me what wasn't so good?
Because the teacher's not helping me and my Friday's day.
Okay, and so how did you solve that problem? Did you talk to somebody about it?
Not really.
No?
Like I tried to talk to the teacher and they didn't help me.
Okay, so what happened about that situation? Did it get any better?
Ryan just a little bit helped me.
Ryan helped you,
Yep.
did he? Okay. Well, you're lucky that you've got a friend that can help you, aren't you?
Yep.
So what might you be able to do if that happens next time? If there's a teacher that you feel doesn't quite understand that you need some help, what might you be able to do to solve the problem? Who might be able to help you?
I can email you yours.
Yeah, you can. You can email me, you can email Miss Sampson, and then we can help you talk to the teacher. Yeah? Cool. But it's good that you recognise that there was a problem. Yeah? So that's something that we can put down. I can fill this out on Kmart that we've talked about something that's happened that you didn't feel comfortable about and you found it frustrating. Would you say you found it frustrating? Okay. And then next time that happens, you're going to let either myself or Miss Sampson know so we can help you. Cool. So that was a negative thing from this year. What were some of the positive things from this year that you've been enjoying? You've been doing something very different this year for the first time, haven't you? And I think you've been loving it. What have you been doing this year that you've never done at school before? Well, it's not even at school, is it? That's the whole point.
Yeah. Like hanging out with my workmates.
With your workmates. So tell us about your workmates and what you've been doing on a Thursday then.
Because we have laughter.
Yeah? So what are you doing on a Thursday?
Like sometimes they're on a different side. Like
Yeah.
Rolling stuff.
Cool. Can you remember the name of the company that you're doing your
I
work
can't say that name.
You can't say. Is it a bit long and complicated? Yeah? But it's a building company,
Yep.
isn't it? So what have you been, tell me a little bit about what you've been learning to do
Like
on
cleaning
your
up
work.
the sites.
Yeah?
And like sometimes I had to like one day me and boss like went out to IDM and pick up some wood.
Cool. So running errands,
Yep.
picking up materials. You showed me some photos the other
Yeah.
week. What was in those photos that you were showing me? Can you
Like
remember?
that, we have to make like the chairs for the concrete before it poured.
So preparing the site ready for pouring concrete, wasn't it? Yeah. So can you tell me a little bit about what did you have to do? Because you had to do a lot of, was it counting?
Sometimes yeah.
Yeah.
Like that is sometimes I have to pick up the metal plate and put the chairs down.
Pick up the metal.
Bars to make the concrete in.
Right. So you had to put them, make sure they were all in the right place.
Yep.
Yeah. What other jobs have you had to do? I remember you telling me about something else you were doing that I said would scare the living bejesus out of me. Do you remember what you were doing?
Like climbing up the scaffolding.
Right. I don't like heights, eh? So how did that go? What did you have to do to make sure you were safe when you were doing that?
Just do it slowly.
Yeah. Did you have any special equipment?
No.
No?
Just read.
You didn't have to have a special hat on?
No.
No? No harness?
No.
Oh, that scares me. Cool. Okay, so we've talked about what didn't go so well. We've talked about what's been going well. So do you want to fill me in a little bit about what you've planned to do next year and what your plan is? Are you going to continue to do your work experience? No? You want to, don't you? You've really enjoyed it this year. Yeah? So what else is news? Because we didn't have a meeting at the beginning of the year. We had one last year and lots of things have changed since then. Has anything particularly changed about what your interests and hobbies are?
Not really.
No? Still doing the same hobbies?
Yep.
Yeah? Okay, cool. So, what else is there? This is an opportunity for you to ask me or to tell me anything else that's been going on with you at school. I know we talk regularly when we have our LA, but is there anything else that you would like to talk, especially because this might actually be an opportunity for you to show us how you can talk about yourself and your life and your school life? Is there anything else you can think of that you might like to tell us about? How are things going with your friendship groups, for instance? Because you've had a big change this year in the last few months with not being able to hang out in here at
I
lunchtime.
still hang out with mine.
Yeah, so and I think you've coped really well with that change. So do you want to tell me a little bit about how that made you feel and how you coped with
Angry at the
it?
start.
Yeah, and how did you cope with that anger?
Like, I just talked to wide.
Good boy. Yeah, and you coped with it, didn't you? You've managed
Like-
to.
Like I say, to take it wrong, come over to visiting some days.
Yeah, and there are other places in school where you can make yourself feel safe and have some quiet time with Ryan. Cool. So is there anything else you'd like to talk about or mention now?
Not really.
No?
Could I get Nate to talk about something? Could you talk about the speaking stuff and how you've overcome those challenges?
Sometimes I just want to be my tail show.
Yep.
Don't want to do it.
But
But I did last week to Miss Gunn.
So you did a speech with Miss Gunn, did you?
We're doing some activities around the circle, and I just get out my tail show and just leave it in my bag.
Okay.
and what else have you got out of your turtle shuffle? What did we do a couple of weeks ago? Do you remember what we did in B16?
Yes, I have to do a group chat about the COVID.
Yeah.
Cool. So do you feel, compared to this time last year, do you feel that you're a bit more confident with your talking?
I'm
And
slowly moving up the mountain.
that's the way, you're going in the right direction, eh, bud? Cool. Excellent. And do you feel a bit more, especially going out in on a Thursday and having to talk to who they would have been complete strangers to start with, eh?
Like I'm thinking, who are you? I'm just going to stay in my corner.
But you haven't though, have you?
No.
You've actually started chatting and talking to them, and you've got some really good, cool workmates now, eh? Cool. So there you go. That's the reward for being brave, isn't it?
What about the other thing that you've finally downloaded and you're finally using?
Oh, we're a writer.
The Google Read. Yeah.
Right. And are you finding that's helpful?
Slowly.
Yeah. Getting used to it. It must be odd using a new piece of
Yes.
tech, though, eh?
Sometimes I just don't want to use it.
Yeah.
And the Grumpy Miss Sampson makes him use it
Yep.
because you've got to be more independent.
Yes. And I always go off to B16 and listen to it.
Exactly.
Excellent.
That's an issue.
Okay. So, yeah, nothing else you need to say, or
Not really.
no? And you've got all your options chosen for next year. You shared that with me, and so did Miss Sampson. So that's all ready to go. Are you excited for next year?
Kind of.
Are you nervous about anything for next year?
Still thinking that next year and this year.
Yeah. So, what things would you like to stay the same?
I don't know.
What do you like about what's been going on this year and how things have been going?
Like hanging out with my workmates mostly.
Cool. Well, there's no reason why that's going to change, is there? Unless you're a plonker and they will run away.
No.
And are there any other things that have frustrated you or upset you this year that you think might need some help to sort out? Other than the one teacher that you felt wasn't helping you, was there anything else?
Not really.
That's really good to hear, Nate. So you feel comfortable here, you feel happy and safe here at school, and you feel like most of your teachers help you, and you feel like you're making progress, because I can certainly see that you've made progress.
Yep.
Wonderful. Excellent.
And you've also developed more of a friendship with Jacob, eh?
And that's good as well. It's healthy to have lots of different friends at home. So do mums have anything they think that Nate might be able to tell us about, to add to his corridor? What about anything that's been going on at home that give you a chance to do some more speaking for us?
I think what he does with the workmates is he has done some fantastic jobs of building great connections with those guys. So
And they
some
clearly
of
have
the,
been
some of the ones that have probably been a little bit maybe hard and grumpy, they are very aligned with now, and they've shared a lot about themselves. So he's
That's good.
kind of gets in the van with them, and then he's been really honest about who he is and what's important to him. And
Sounds like you've taught them some stuff as well, Nate. That's
Yeah.
really good.
yeah, so it's a very supportive environment, and mostly Pacific boys, so it's
Cool.
also a lot of fun, a lot of really
Yeah.
positive energy, and
Yeah.
Yeah, and probably the other big thing, Nate, is just that connection with Joe, because I know both Marie and Joe know about this, and so Nate has really needed kind of an important man in his life that is not one of our old family members. They're too old. They're way too old.
Yeah.
Someone that he can really relate to, and
Yeah.
so he's kind of signalled a desire for that for a little while, and so we got onto it, and so it's actually Joe Kerry, who was his year 8 teacher at Highlands, and so we kind of approached various people and just to see, like, has anybody got any idea, and we looked at all sorts of ideas, and Joe came back to us and he said, I'd really like to be that person for Nate, because and so we had a wonderful meeting, and Nate was able to talk to, because Nathan stayed in contact with Joe after that year, and
Like, I was like, can I have like your number?
yeah, and Joe messaged us and said, look, Nate's been in contact, are you fine with that? And we said absolutely. But that Joe and his wife and his family have opened their arms to Nate, and so he goes every Thursday night and hangs out, and that's because of Nathan's ability around relationships. That someone, a family
Definitely
is,
one of your strengths, bud.
reaching out and saying, hey, we want you to be part of our life. So that's been massive for you, Nate. Yeah.
Excellent.
So there was a lot of sadness there. Yeah.
Cool. Matt, you're a completely different person than you were a year ago, eh?
Yep.
You're liking it?
Yep.
Cool. Wow. Brilliant. So, nothing else that you want to talk to us about?
Not really.
Okay.
Just one other thing that was a good example, Nate, of, when we had COVID and you had to stay home and you couldn't come to school? Yeah. But
Don't think about that.
well, no, I just wanted to ask you if you wanted to talk anything about how you coped with the challenges of that, because it was...
trash can.
I know, but we're talking about what you did well, and some
Yeah.
things needed to go in the trash can, so other things could be there. So, can you remember anything about how you got on with things during that time, or what you learned about yourself?
Not really. Just.
Because, even changing to online classroom and stuff, that was a big challenge for you. And it was like, the turtle. The turtle put his friend a ferocious bear on.
Yeah, the
and
turtle.
Then they both left.
Yeah, you've talked about that heaps, that you shared with the class. So why don't you share here?
Tell us about what
You
did.
shared with the class.
I just have my camera off on your class.
Pardon?
I just don't have my camera off on your class, mostly. I just don't want to.
Yeah, because you hadn't made your bed.
No, and it's something else, and I'm too tired, so.
Yeah, no, you did turn the camera on because I made you.
Yes.
I said, come on time, and you did,
Yes.
and you were fine. But what else did you achieve during that time?
I did some of your work.
Did lots of work. What else did you achieve? Come on, what did you make?
I remember asking all of you guys in LA to make sure that you made a meal for your family, or did some chores, or did some help around the house. What did you do for that, for your family?
Like, I made some of muffins.
Cool.
So you competed in the Great Bake Off.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lots of
Still
things
waiting
to
for a
do.
custard slice, by the way.
Yeah. Well, I remember helping out
They were
over at the food room for open day for the year 8s, and you were in there making your scones, and I remember you giving me one, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
Definitely one of your strengths, isn't it? Baking and then looking after
He is a
your
good
family.
baker.
Yeah. Because there are lots of kids in our LA that didn't do anything for their families during lockdown, and you did. It's really good, Nate.
And what did you write during the lockdown? Because you shared that with Joe, didn't you?
Yep, my lockdown blog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's going towards your writing credits.
Did you find it helped to process your feelings when you
Sometimes.
wrote it down? Because I find it helps me get it out of your head so you don't worry about it too much.
Your emotions card's been big this year too.
Mm.
Yeah.
Tell us about them.
Oh, I can't
Well, you've shown me. I know
find it.
them.
If
Tell
I,
us about
if I can remember, I put them.
Doesn't matter.
Why did you do it?
Because I can show you a bit what I'm feeling.
And what did we also use them on at school?
My verbal brainstorm.
Yeah, your visual brainstorm.
Yeah, they were really powerful, but you don't need them so much now, eh?
I still have them somewhere in my room.
Yeah.
That's another massive step though. The fact that you feel that you don't need them anymore and you can actually put it into words. That's really good, right?
Right, yeah, probably we don't have so much of this anymore, don't we? Eh?
Where do you get your bright ideas from?
Your noggin.
You know, yeah.
I'm magic readable.
Like I joined my research unit, I just for next 2 days.